right. Hello, guys. Kisu really stepping that up a notch there and making some awesome styling for us. I love it. Um, so next up, we have we've got the project exercises here, and next up, we are going to um, create new tasks and a few other board features. So essentially, what that involves is filling out the task card with some more info and styling, getting rid of that just JSON dump that is there now, and then using Vue use once again to do some awesome date formatting. And then we're going to create a UI component to add some more tasks to the bottom of each column. So as you can kind of see in this screenshot here, we'll have this little UI element that we're going to add. And then we'll add new tasks to the hard-coded tasks inside of the page id.vue whenever it's added to the board. Awesome. And then finally, if we get around to it, we're going to create this cool little menu item over here. And I don't know if we'll have time for it completely or not. If not, I'll just put it in the repo. All right. So this is my coding session. So I suppose let's get to it. Let me get the latest code down here. So pull. So that should give me that pretty stuff. And then let's npm run dev. I probably need to do an npm install after some of this. Let me do npm install. Sure I have everything. And back over here, I just like localhost 3000. So yeah, okay. All right, so we got our boards here. Now I'm still seeing this image here. I'm not sure if Constantine was able to push up to the repo. Let's check that out real quick. So yeah, the last thing I have here is alerts. No worries. Give me just a second, and we will at least be able to get our board going, and Constantine will push up shortly. Okay, so one second, guys. I apologize. So get back here, hub, and I'm just going to copy and paste some example code here. Okay, so here is the drag and drop board. So we'll get back over here, and I will create a component for the drag and drop board. Okay, and this is what Kisu just did, but I'm just going to temporarily put this in here, and I can copy and paste his from the repo in a minute. Okay, so we need to install Vue Draggable. Okay, and create that task card. And that task card looks something like this. Perfect. Okay, now we just want to use that inside of the individual board page. Okay, and we'll just replace this with an H1 that says board, and we'll get our board drag, what's it called, drag and drop board, drag and drop board in there. Awesome. All right, so now let's see what that looks like. Okay. All right, so we've got a board, JSON unexpected token, JSON stringify. Why is that? Um, compiler, drag and drop board. So that's in clone deep. Two raw columns. Okay, apologies, guys. You know what? Let's do this first. Let's just go ahead and take the card and start working on it. So I'm going to add in the task card here. And let's see what that looks like. Okay, test card, invalid end tag. Get rid of that. Okay, and we can get rid of the import of drag and drop and import of that. And we actually don't need that import either because it's automatically comes in. Okay, cool. So now we need a task going into the task card, right? Because task card takes a task property. So let me come out just a little bit. It's a little difficult for me to see. So the task card takes a task property. Okay, and our tasks are going to look like something like this. So tasks have a title, they have a description, they'll have some labels, they'll have a do at property, and some relationships there. Okay, so let's just copy this here, and I will add that to as a task in here. Okay. Okay, and so I want a title that is a string. So we'll just say my new task. And that gets me all the time if I put double quotation marks inside of my uh, attribute there. And then a description, which is a string. And we won't worry about labels for now. And we'll just say the due at date is today or right now. Okay. Do a little formatting there. So let's see what that looks like. That's incorrect. Let's see what that looks like on the task card. Awesome. Yeah, so that's kind of what we ended with in the last session was a task card that prints out just the JSON. So, excuse me, guys. So now let's work on prettying that up just a little bit. Sorry, getting my reference back here. I moved away from it. Okay. So in our task card, what I want to do is I want to use some of Kendo UI's components to make things visually nice. So let's open up task card again, and I want to import card title, card header, and avatar, as well as the card subtitle from, let's say, at progress / Kendo Vue layout. Okay. So now we've got all of these different UI elements we could work with. Let me just copy and paste some of the actual template inside of here to speed things along just a bit. So now what I'm going to do here is for each of my cards, I want to make each of them link to a page where you can edit that particular card. Now we haven't actually created that view yet, that page, but it'll be there for when we're ready to do that. And you'll notice that it is nested. So we'll get to learn a little bit about nested routes in just a bit. Okay, so now is where I'm actually using that card component, and I will give it a card header and just put in the task title there. And then inside or next to the task title, we'll include an avatar where the image is just for now a placeholder image. Okay. And then at the bottom, we'll use the card subtitle here just to kind of position things. And then we'll use this chip component from Kendo UI to to display a nice little duet thing, a little date chip. So I actually still need to import chip from Kendo UI buttons. And so that should make that a little bit better. But now I want to utilize that use date format function or composable from Vue's core to get a nice date. Because without it, what we get is just this task dot do at. It's not very nice. And let's say to string, okay, to make TypeScript happy here. And so yeah, now we have just this chip here, and I'm not sure why it doesn't have any date in it whatsoever. Why is that? So we got test.do at. Let's print out the task here. Okay, it is due at. Yeah, that seems to be working. The task.do at. You know what? Let's get rid of the toString just for kicks. Okay, still not there. Yeah, anyways, I'm not sure why it's not printing to the chip, but let's say test.do at right here and just see what it looks like above the chip. So yeah, it's this unwieldy string that's really not great to look at. So with Vue use, we can say import use date format from Vue's core, and we can give some nice formatting to our date. All right, so what that's going to look like is we will call use date format, and we will pass it the date that we want formatted. So in this case, this is going to be our task. Okay, let me move props up above this use date format here. So I want to format the props.task do at. Okay, and the second argument is a custom formatter. So I could say something like month, day, okay, whoop. And then the return is the actual formatted date. So let's say date equals, and then we'll just print out the date here instead. Okay, so yeah, so now I get 713, and I could do the same thing here for the chip. Okay, and 713. Awesome. So now things look a little bit nicer. We've got our avatar image over here. Now, these would show up in the board, but I don't have that quite yet. Let me see if Kisu has added. He has. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so I am just going to copy, and I'm going to take a Scratch file, which I use probably more than I should. I'm just going to throw my task card in there for now. Okay, and now we'll just say get status is all that. We can remove all the things I just did, and let me pull down the latest. Okay, your local changes to the following files will be overwritten. Oh, yep, okay. Get add all, get stash. Okay, so this is just a way to kind of get my changes out of there. And now I'm going to pull down the latest again. Oh, that components.ds, it keeps auto doing that. Let me try it one more time. Right. Awesome, there it goes. All right, so now I have Constantine's stuff, and I have my card. So now in task card, we'll just replace his task card with my task card. And let's see what we got. Okay, boards 3. I have a router is not defined here inside of Vue draggable, can't access property header. Oh boy, okay. Can't access property header, scope slot is undefined. And this is router is not defined, the drawer. Okay, let's deal with that one first. So over in the drawer, okay, we just need to actually use router here, it looks like. So const router equals use router. Okay. And that should be after the import. Okay. And if I give things a refresh here, still saying router is not defined. Let's see. Okay. Okay. That's looking a little better. So we go to the board, but now we cannot access property header. Scope slot is undefined, and that's in Vue draggable. Unhandled error during execution. Oh, we need to properly use that. Is that right? Let's go back to id.vue for the boards. And so inside of our boards, we got our drag and drop board coming in. Our tasks are going into the board. So those tasks are with the ID of title and ID of push clean. That's cool. What else is going wrong? We've got our board here. Unhandled error during execution. Scope slots was accessed during render but is not defined on the instance. SS header. Okay, so something about the slots here inside of the drag and drop board. Let's give that a try and see what we can see. So we've got a slot here for the column element. We've got another view draggable here. Oh, that UID still seems to be in here. Let's get rid of that. That should be ID. Still not good. Okay. All right, guys. I guess today is not my day. Let me do one more thing real quick. Excuse me, y'all. Yeah, that's a good. Let me try that real quick. npm install. Okay. Let's go back. No, still have the error here, unfortunately. That's okay. That's okay. Give me 30 seconds, y'all. Okay. Did the npm install? Scope slots was accessed during the render but is not defined on the instance. Nothing there. Okay. That is very strange. It's something about what I'm passing into it because have the exact same board here that was working previously. Oh, okay. Maybe I installed the wrong one when I was. Yeah. Okay. Let's try that. Let's see. Vue draggable at Nuxt. Okay. And then I will give the page a refresh there. That is still. You know what? Let me do this. My apologies once again, guys. So I'm going to let me I'm going to leave my scratch file here, and I'm just going to add everything once more and stash it. Let's see where that gets me, and then I'm just going to, because I think you're right. I think it does have something to do with Vue draggable there. So now I just want to npm install once more, make sure we got it fresh, everything. Okay, and I do have a, see, I am, nice. I am on the latest branch here, so that is good. So let me just try running it without any of my additions. So we're already running. Let me just restart this just in case. All right, this is looking better. Okay, so let me just refresh. Yeah, no more errors in the console. Perfect. All right. So now let's put my card back in there. So our task card now becomes this. And now we have cool little cards here. Awesome. So this is the details of it. Cool. All right. So now let's work on creating that. Let's work on creating that input down here. So inside of the board, drag and drop. What I want to do is I actually want to create a new component, and it's going to be called task creator. So I'll put it at the very bottom of a column here. Okay. And then we'll go and create that new component. So we'll say task creator view. All right. And I am just going to drop in the code for that, since I am already pushing it on the time. And I will walk you through what's going on. So in Task Creator, we have a Kendo UI input that shows if a reactive ref is active. Okay, so that active up here is a reactive ref. Okay, and otherwise we have a button showing. So let's just go ahead and save this so you can see exactly what that's doing. See, why is it not showing in the bottom of the? Let's put that here. Should be correct. Task creator. That is correct. Task creator. That looks right. Let's just real quickly do template and then div hello. Make sure that is all right. Okay. Still not showing up there at the bottom of the board. So that confuses me a bit. Let me try one more thing with you guys. So the board drag and drop here, I'm just going to paste this in. This is just a little bit different than what Kisso did. So it's a little bit more of what I expect. So let me see if it works any different. So now we have task creator. And we'll check that out there. Okay. So now we have our input down here. And so when we click on it, it gives this active input, right? Excuse me. What makes that happen is this active reactive variable. What's also cool about this, though, is that we can give this input a ref attribute. And this is a special keyword in Vue to turn this into what's called a template ref. Okay, so up here in this section, we have a input, and that corresponds to this input here. So what that means is when I reference input inside of the script setup section, what I'm referencing is in fact the actual HTML element. Now, because this element doesn't actually exist until the DOM, until this component is mounted to the DOM, it is null in the beginning. So I should actually in TypeScript say this could be null as well. Okay, that's why we were getting that little red line there. So that's how you create a reactive ref with the composition API. Okay. The next thing I do down here on key press of enter, I just call a function called handle enter. And handle enter is going to emit a create event. It's going to change our value, which is also a reactive ref. Okay, so value is a reactive ref, and it is what is bound to, go back here, it's what's bound to that input. Okay, and so when I type into create task, yeah, this is the reactive ref value. Okay. So when we press enter, we take that reactive ref value and just return it to its original state, and we put active back to false. So that means I can type in this, hello, and hit enter, and next time I open it up, yeah, it's cleared out again. So that's something you got to remember when you're working in Vue, is you kind of have to manage that state a little bit more. So and the other thing I'm doing here is emitting inputs, okay, or emitting events, excuse me. So when I have the component events here, let's just go ahead and how do I clear these? Okay, so inside of your dev tools, you can go under timeline and then under component events, and this is going to allow you to see the events emitted from a component. So if I click here, you'll see these are actually emitted by Draggable itself, by Vue Draggable itself, and then focus was, that's probably Kendo UI under there doing something. But now when I do something here and then hit enter, you will see that task create, that create event thrown by task creator is viewable inside of the dev tools, and we can see exactly what it emits as well. So we've got the value of what we typed in here. Awesome. All right. And I know we're running just a little short on time, guys, and I did fail to start my timer here, so definitely stop me, and I can add some new code to the repo if necessary. Okay, so that is the second task. The next thing we want to do here is add all the new tasks to that task variable inside of id.vue. So whenever a new task is created here, let's make it actually go up here into the card. Okay. So the way I want to do that, excuse me. Sorry, y'all. All right. The way I want to do that is let's create a function inside of id.vue. And here we're going to be able to push new task into tasks here. Okay. So we'll create the function, just call it function add tasks, task. And I actually want this to be an async function. And the reason for that is because in just a few minutes, when we actually get our data from the backend, I'm going to need to wait for the task to be created in the backend and then grab the generated ID for that task before adding it back to the board. Okay, because the board organizes tasks into columns by their ID. All right, so we'll say that this takes a task. And I want to import that type of task up here. Not sure why I didn't auto import there. So we'll import type task from types. Okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, we're no longer in TypeScript here. So let me just go ahead and add lang equals ts to this, and that is why it did not import a moment ago. Okay, which is perfectly cool. That's just the style of some people, right? So board ID is possibly null, so we'll just give that a backup of, I don't know, 1. It has to be a string. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. All right. So now when we're adding in our task, what I want to do is return a new promise. Okay. And this promise, of course, can either resolve or reject. And I'll just create a new task with the ID, and we'll spread the task into it that comes from what we're going to be calling this. Okay. And then we'll auto generate an ID for it here locally for now, but this eventually will come from our backend. Okay. And so I just need to import, let me grab that import statement down here. So I just need to import that from that third-party package. All right. And so after that, what I want to do is I just want to push this new task to our tasks. Task.value.push the task with the ID. All right. And then I will resolve, essentially pass this new task back to whatever is going to be calling this function. So this is where things kind of get kind of interesting. So what is going to be using this function? Well, maybe you didn't know it, but there are there's actually more than one way to be able to trigger actions from a component. Okay, of course, there's emit where you can emit an event up, and then the parent component takes care of it. But did you know you can actually pass a function down as a prop to a component? So that's kind of what I want to do here. I want to add task. I want to create a prop here for the board drag and drop called add task, and I'm going to pass it my function I just created. Okay. Now for board drag and drop, I need to then support that prop. Okay. So you'll see this is a little bit different than what was happening before. It's just because I'm using TypeScript. Okay, that's the main thing, and it's 2 different people coding it. But it's essentially the same thing as what was in here before. Okay, so now I'm going to say that this accepts add task. That add task is a function that should accept a task parameter, which is a task. So we'll import type task from types, and that should be that's in there. Is that right? Duplicate identifier. Oh, it's already in here. Okay. Cool. And task which returns lacks an return type. Yeah, that's fine. So we just want to return a task. Okay. All right. So now our component can accept a function as a prop. Now, to be honest, I really don't do this very often, but just because of the way things worked out in this instance, it was kind of the best case scenario for me. So now we need to actually call this add task function here whenever a new task in our task creator is it bubbles up here through the event. So we say at create. We want to add a task. Whoop. add task, and the task is in the event itself. Okay, I believe that's correct. So back in task creator, we emit value.value. So that's actually just the title, right? So we want to do this. We want to say title is the event. Okay. So here we have add task. It accepts a task. And that's not a full task, which makes sense. Okay. So we'll just say that it actually accepts a partial task. So that can be a task without all the things on it, which is okay because over here in id.vue, when we do add task here, we're essentially spreading the task in here, and then we're giving it the ID, and so on and so forth. So with our example code here, anyways, these are all not full tasks. So we could just say that these are partial tasks, and it's an array of partial tasks. Okay, which is cool. That'll work for now. All right, so let's see where that gets us. So when I create a task, hello, new task, and hit enter, it's anticlimactic. Do we have a... We don't have anything in the console, but let's just console. Oh, you know what? I think I know what it is. Over here in board drag and drop. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so over here in board drag and drop, yes, we are adding the task to our list of task here, but we also need to add it to the column. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. Just reading here. So let me grab that real quickly for you so I don't waste any more time. That is going to be... inside of board drag and drop. Okay. So the function that we want to create here in board drag and drop will be called add task. Okay. It accepts the column that we need to add the task to, as well as the title that we want to add. And we'll just create a new task, and that's where we'll call our add task function that comes in as a prop. Okay. So see, now we have the save task. So this comes with that ID that eventually is going to come from the backend. And then we can just push that save task to our local tasks here. And the column can get that task ID for its task IDs. And if there's an error, we'll just alert creating error creating task. So let's import use alerts. Okay, and then here we'll say const alerts equals use alerts. Awesome. All right. So this now is what we need to call when we add a task here, and it accepts the column and a title, which is the event. Awesome. All right, so let's give things a try now. This time, yeah, we get a task added here. I can now create new task anywhere. Awesome. And dragging back and forth still works, and everything's cool. All right, so I think that takes care of the all the issues for this task here. We also want to create the board menu with the item delete button in it, but for time's sake, I will just push that up after the talk. So yeah, does anybody have any questions or anything of the like?